Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2 Unit 4.5 Notes. Today we're talking about simplifying radicals. Our learning target today is to learn the properties of square roots and how to simplify radicals. So let's go ahead and begin. If we take two things under the square root, a times b, they would equal a times b. Like our example, 5 square root 5 times square root 6 equals square root 30. So if I can multiply them to get to 30, they're also saying that if I have a and b, I can break them back up again. So the square root of 30 is the square root of 5 times the square root of 6. So what we're going to be doing today is simplifying radicals. In order to do that, for an answer to be simplified in square root form, there cannot be any perfect squares other than one under the square root symbol. Okay, so what we're doing is we're trying to break them up to factor them by perfect squares. So we need to remember the first 12 perfect squares. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, what good, 81, 100, and if you don't know where I'm getting these from, you can just be going, oh, what was 5 squared again? Okay, I think we just did 10 squared. Now we're doing 11, nope, not that one, 11 squared. Oh, that's all messed up. Nope, come on, Mr. Grice. There it is, it's 121, and I did it wrong. 11 squared, there it is. Okay, it's early, give me a break. And then 144. So when we're trying to break up the numbers underneath the square root, we're trying to see if we can factor it by one of these numbers. So here we go. How do we do it? Simplifying radicals. You want to find the biggest perfect square that divides evenly the factor into the given number. Write the original radical as the product of two radicals, and then simplify. And we leave the other one alone. Okay? So what is the biggest factor perfect square that goes into 12? Well, the biggest, so I would start at 9. If you don't know it, we would start at 9, and 12 divided by 9? Nope. 12 divided by the next one is 4. Yeah, there we go. So this breaks down to the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. So that's step 2. We just separated them and then simplified. The square root of 4 is 2 times the square root of 3. Okay? So what we would do is start with the biggest one. Some of you might know it right away, but so I would start with, if I've got 45, the next perfect square is 36. Nope. 25. Nope. 16. Nope. 9. Yeah, there it is. So this breaks down to the square root of 9 times the square root of 5. And the square root of 9 is 3. Okay, so this guy is my answer. So we would start, I'm just going to write them down again. So we got 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, and 144. So 75 breaks up into 64? Nope. 49? 36? No, it's 25. 25 and 3. The square root of 25 is 5. Square root 3. Okay, 8. Well, the biggest number that's going to go into 8 is 4. 4 and 2. The square root of 4 is 2. So we're left with 2 square root 2. All right, so now it looks a little bit different because we've got a number out front. So the number out front stays there. And then we need to break down the square root of 72. So you would be checking 64, 49, 36. There it is. So it's the square root of 36 and the square root of 2. The square root of 36 is 6. And then 2 times 6, we keep simplifying, we get 12. Okay, so with the numbers outside, we multiply them. Those are like the coefficients. Okay? All right, 32. 25? 16? Good. It's 16 and 2, and the square root of 16 is 4. All right, so we got that 3 out front. I want to make sure the 3 stays there. I'm going to multiply, and now I need to figure what breaks up 44. Okay, so 44 divided by 36, 25, 16, 9, 4. Okay, so 4 and 11. Well, the square root of 4 is 2. And then 3 times 2 is 6. So we get 6 square root 11. All right, so all we're doing is breaking these up, okay? Even if there's a negative outside, we would keep the negative and break down 63, which is 9 and 7. The square root of 9 is 3, and 4 times 3 is negative 12. Okay, 98. Start with, let's see, 81, 64, 49. Yeah, 49 and 2, and the square root of 49 is 7. All right, so we got that negative 5. The negative 5 goes out front, and 50 breaks up into, I just said it, 25 and 2. So some of these you might be able to recognize right off the back. The square root of negative, or 25 is 5, and negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. Okay, now if you notice, everything that we've been doing had a positive number underneath the square root. That's not always the case. So if you square root a negative number, you must include an I in your final answer. I is like an imaginary number, and Miss Carranza did a very good job of explaining it in class. So hopefully you guys are paying attention to that. Now, the way this would look is we would take the square root of 16, we would put an I out front because it's negative, and the square root of 16. Well, the square root of 16 is 4, and we would treat that I like a variable and put it in the back. okay? So we would take out that negative, so it'd be I square root 121, and the square root of 121 is 11, so we would have 11I. And then we're going to have to break some up, right? So the I would come out front, the negative is gone, and then how do we get 48? Is it 36, 25, 16? Yeah, 16. 16 and 3. The square root of 16 is 4. The I comes, and then the square root of 3. All right, so I've got that negative, so I'm going to plot an I. 20 breaks down to 4 times 5. The square root of 4 is 2. We bring out the I, and then the square root of 5. Okay, so the 2 is out front. We would keep the 2 there. The negative, so we would have an I, and then what breaks down 90? Well, remember, when you're breaking it down, you have to start all the way at the highest one. So does 81? No, not 81. 64, 49, and you keep asking yourselves all of these until you find out what it is. Okay? The square root of 9 is 3, so we have 2 times 3i square root 10, and then 2 times 3 we get 6. So we have 6i square root of 10. Okay, so the negative 3 comes out front, the I comes out front, and then what's the perfect square that goes into 80? Yeah, 16. So 16 and 5, the square root of 16 is 4, so we have negative 3 times 4i times square root of 5. So we get negative 12i square root 5. Oh, let's redo that. There we go. All right, last part. So to simplify fraction with radicals, on the numerator, you must simplify the radical and then reduce. Okay? So what I want to check is, can I reduce the square root? Can I simplify that anymore? And if I can't, then I'm just going to split this up to 9 divided by 3 plus 6 square root 5 divided by 3. And then I can simplify each one. 9 divided by 3 is 3, plus 6 divided by 3 is 2 square root 5. And then we would leave it like this. Okay? But we took care of each one of these individually. Okay? So always look inside, and if you can't reduce, split it up. 12 divided by 2, and 5 square root 7 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6, and then I can't do anything with the 5 over 2, so that just stays 5 over 2, square root 7. Okay, so this is the first time we can see that the negative 40, square root negative 40, we can break down. So I would still break up the 18 over 2, and then the negative 40 would be I, and 40 breaks down to square root of 4 and square root of 10 all over 2. And there's a plus sign in between. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Plus square root of 4 is 2. I, 10, all divided by 2. okay, because we're breaking this down, and I can still simplify the 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So we have 9 plus I square root 10. All right, so we have 12 divided by 3 minus 54. How does that 54 break down into? Yeah, 54 breaks down to square root of 9 times the square root of 6 divided by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Square root of 9 is 3. And 3 divided by 3 cancel out. So we're left with 4 minus the square root of 6, okay? So we're just simplifying this, making it easier to see. We have 8 divided by 2 plus, I have a negative under the 32 with the 32, and then 32 breaks down to 16 times 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Square root of 16 is 4i square root 2 divided by 2. And then we reduce the 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Oh geez, my pen's going all crazy. So 2i square root 2. All right, last one. Okay, so I can't reduce what's inside because it's square root of 3. So I just have 4 over 2 minus 6 square root 3 divided by 2, and that reduces to 2 minus 6 divided by 2 is 3. And that's it. Well, that's it for Algebra 2, Unit 4.5 Notes, Day 1. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice, signing off. Thanks for watching.